A very warm and a pleasant welcome to one and all present here. Today we'll be dealing with module number 5, which is musical references in Upanishadic literature. Before going deep into musical references in Upanishads and Upanishadic literature, let's know what is Upanishad. So we all know basically that our ancient Indian texts talk mainly about 4 Vedas: Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda and Atharva Veda. Apart from these Vedas, we have Puranas, which are 18 predominantly, and Itihasa, which is 2, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. Apart from these, we have most important concept called Darshanas. Darshana is one's perspective, to see. Darshana is to see. So we have Astika and Nastika Darshanas. Nastika Darshanas are 3. Astika Darshanas are 6 in nature: Nyaya Vaisheshika, Sankhya Yoga, and Mimamsa and Vedanta. This Vedanta, which is a Astika Darshana, is nothing but, it is also called as Upanishads. Upanishad means Rahasya, to be kept as secret. Upanishad also means coming nearer to. To whom are we coming nearer to? We are coming nearer to our Guru. The disciple is close to his Guru, which means intellectually, spiritually, the student or the disciple is nearing towards the Guru himself. So Upanishads deal with soul, the Atmagyan. It also deals with liberation, the moksha. It deals with the ultimate truth. So there are different Upanishads which talks about different things altogether. Today, we will be having an overview or an outlook of musical references in Upanishadic literature. The Upanishad, as we see, the period of Upanishads is the most important in the early history of music. The Upanishads saw the simultaneous expression of philosophical concepts and mysterious ideas through the medium of music. So music has been a great channel to connect these two. Upanishadic literature, known for its philosophical depths, also contains subtle yet profound references to music, highlighting its spiritual significance. Music is often mentioned as a metaphor for cosmic harmony, inner realization, and the relationship between the individual and the universe, the universal energy as we call it. Nada, a very, very important concept in Upanishadic literature which connects music and Upanishads together. Nada means the primordial sound as we call it to be. The Upanishads emphasize on Nada as the origin of creation and a tool for spiritual awakening in the language of music. As we say, Nadaha Shabdaha Paramam Brahma Tat Sarvatmakam. This is being quoted from Chandogya Upanishad, which means the sound, the Nada itself is the supreme Brahman, Shabda Brahma as we call it to be. It pervades all existence. It means this identifies Nada as the subtle vibration underlying all creation, linking music to the very essence of this universe. So Nada is one such concept which introduces us towards spiritual awakening through music as a tool or a channel. Here, music connects the human form to the ultimate truth via Nada. So Nada here refers to the sound itself as Brahman here. So Nada is of 2 types: Ahata Nada, Anahata Nada. Ahata Nada is a struck sound developed by external means. Anahata Nada is an unstruck sound developed through internal and cosmic heard in meditation. So these are the 2 main differences between Ahata and Anahata Nada. Apart from Nada, Om also claims an important place in the Upanishadic literature with regard to the musical references. Let us know how far it is. Samaveda and its melodic nature. Samaveda one of the four Vedas, is directly connected to music, as we all know, being chanted in a melodic manner with a specific intonation. The Chandogya Upanishads highlight the spiritual aspect of musical intonation in the Samaveda as Samava idam sarvam, Sameva idam sarvam, which means, indeed, everything here is Sama. This is truly Sama, which means it equates Sama, the Samagana, the essence of musical chants, to the universal reality, underscoring the power of music in aligning with the cosmos itself. Om as the universal. Sound Om, considered the primal sound, is extensively described as encompassing all sounds and representing the ultimate reality. Om ityetadaksharam idam sarvam. Mandukya Upanishad quotes the above lines. Om is the syllable that encompasses everything in the universe. This underscores sacredness of sound as a spiritual practice and its association with the cosmic vibration altogether. Music as a path of liberation. See, as I have spoken about all the darshanas, I would like to tell you here that moksha is attained through different paths by different rishis, and they have composed different darshanas based on that. Here, in this module, we will see how music becomes a pathway to the ultimate liberation or salvation, as we call. The relationship between music and liberation is metaphorically expressed here. The subtle and refined musical tones are compared to the spiritual process of refining one's own consciousness. Yatra nanyat pashyati, nanyat shrunoti, nanyat vijanati sa bhuma. These are the verses taken from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, and it means that where one neither sees, hears, nor knows anything else, that is the infinite, which means the not hearing anything else is a state of mind which is interpreted as the focusing of the inner sound, the Omkara, the Nada itself, transcending external distraction through music. So when one is in the mode of not hearing anything else, he tries to experience the internal self and he comes out of all the external distractions altogether. So this happens only through music. The metaphor of veena. The human body is metaphorically described as a veena, the stringed instrument in various contexts, in various texts. When tuned properly, that is, when there is a spiritual alignment, it produces harmonious music, inner peace and realization. Tameva viditvati mrityum eti nanyaf pantha vidyate ayanaya. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says these words, which means, by knowing that alone, one transcends death. There is no other path to liberation, which means, just as a veena must be tuned, the individual, their senses and intellect to attain liberation. Musical notes and creation. Now, how are these musical notes become a reason for the creation of different cosmic level conceptual framework? The concept of swaraha, the musical note as the basis of cosmic creation, is indirectly referenced relating to the saptaswaras or the 7 notes of music to universal elements. Sayo havai tat sukritam veda. Chandogya Upanishad quotes these verses, which means the one who knows this creative essence attains it, which means the creative process resembles the harmonious arrangement of musical notes, symbolizing the structure of the cosmos. Yajna and the musical chanting. The chanting of mantras in specific tones during yajnas, the sacrificial practices, is another musical reference which is very, very important and which is very evident also. It shows how sound vibration creates spiritual and materialistic benefits. Vedanuvachanam, dharmanushtanam, sangopasanam. Taittiriya Upanishad talks about these verses, which means recitation of the Vedas, observance of duties, and worship with auxiliaries. All these things in specific rhythmic pattern is an integral form of musical worship. So, music is being compared with divinity. Music is just not an art form. Music is just not something that is to be adorned or admired, but it is also one step ahead, considered as a cosmic level creation. These references illustrate the integral role of music in Upanishadic philosophy, not just as an art form, as I said, but as a pathway to understanding the cosmos and achieving spiritual enlightenment. Now, let us know the Saptaswaras and what Upanishads is there to talk about. Upanishads were the first to denote the letters of the Saptaswaras as Sa, Ri, Ga, Ma, Pa, Dha, and Ni. Narada Parivrajaka Upanishad, the very first line in this Upanishad, lines from 6 to 11, says that Naimisharanyam Punyasthalam Avalokya Sarigama Padhani Sa Sanyaihi Vairagya Bodhakaraihi Swaravisheshaihi Prapanchika Parangmukarha Kathalapaihi Sthavara Jangamakaihi Bhagavat Bhakti Visheshaha Nara Mriga Kim Purushamara Kinnara Apsara Ganan Sammohayan Agatam Brahmatmajam Bhagavat Bhaktam Naradam Avalokya Dwadasha Varsha Satra Yagopastithaha. These are the verses exactly from Naradiya Parivrajaka Upanishad, which says, observing the holy land of Naimisharanya, which is revered for its purity, for its sanctity, and understanding the nature of the musical notes, Sarigama Padhani, and their specific sounds that leads to renunciation, as well as hearing the sacred mantras, the sacred narratives that are suited for the ultimate liberation. One can become captivated by the devotion to the Supreme Being. Observing the devotees, including sages, celestial beings, and others, one can be entranced. Seeing Narada, the son of the Brahma, who's devoted to the Supreme, performing the 12-year sacrifice, the yajna, assembled beings are filled with reverence here. So this is exactly the context from Naradiya Parivrajaka Upanishad. As we see, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also has something to talk about musical instruments like Shankha, Veena, Dundubi, etc. Sa yatha Dunduber Hanyamanasya na bahya kshandad shaknuyat grahanaya Dundubhehe satu grahanena Dundubhya dhatasya va shabdo grihitaha. As when a drum is beaten, one cannot distinguish its particular notes, but they are included in the general note of the drum or in the general sound produced by different kinds of strokes. In the same manner, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also says, Sa yatha veenayai vadyamanayai na bahya chandat shaknuyat grahanaya veenayai tu satu grahanena veenavadasya va shabdo grihitaha. As when a veena is played, one cannot distinguish its particular note, but they are included in its general notes of the veena or in the general sound produced by different kinds of playing. In the same manner, once again, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also says, Sayatha shankasya dhyayamanasya na bahya chandat shaknuyat grahanaya shankasya tu grahanena shankadhyamasya va shabdo grihitaha. These are the verses from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad which says, as we have seen with regard to veena, it is now with regard to conch. As when a conch is blown, one cannot distinguish its particular notes, but they are included in the general notes of the conch or in the general sound produced by different kinds of playings. In the same manner, Chandogya Upanishad, a major Upanishad belonging to the Samaveda, also refers to the Pranavam as the imperishable Udgita. Pranava is nothing but the Omkara, which is referred to as Udgita in Samaveda. The following Chandogya Upanishad passage points out the importance of Pranavam, which is Udgita, for the upasana of Brahman through Nada. Omityetadaksharam udbhitam upasita omithyudgayati tasya upavyakyanam. These are the verses from Chandogya Upanishad which says, let a man meditate on the syllable Om, called the Udgita. For the Udgita, a portion of the Samaveda is sung beginning with Om. That is the reason why, if you notice here, these particular verses are the very first verses of Chandogya Upanishad, which starts with Om. Speaking about the tonal quality, Chandogya Upanishad once again refers to, says, Vinardi Samno Vrane Pashavyam Ityagner Rudbito Niruktah Prajapater Niruktah Somasya Mridu Slakshanam Vayoho Slakshanam Balavapindrasya Krauncham Brihaspater Apadhvantam Varunasyatan Savanivopatan Savanivopaseveta Varunam Tveva Varjayet. These are the modulations and the different tones employed in singing the summons, the hymns, and their names are, see, these are the names that are given to different modulations in the Samaveda according to Chandogya Upanishad. Vinardi, Anirukta, Nirukta, Mridu, Slakshana, Balavat, Krauncha, Apadhvanta. So these are the intonations. Now, coming back to Omkara, Dhyanabindu Upanishad describes the Pranava as the source for everything in the universe. Omkara Prabhava Devaha, Omkara Prabhava Swaraha, Omkara Prabhavam Sarvam, Trilokyam Sacharacharam. These are the verses that are extracted from Dhyanabindu Upanishad of the verse 16, which says, Omkara is the source for all Devas, for all Swaras, for all the source of each and everything in this universe. That is the only one, none other than Omkara itself. So, Hamsopanishad says that Nada can be attained only by crores of penance, and that Nada known through Hamsa is tenfold. Sa eva japakotaya Nadam anubhavati evam sarvam Hamsavashan Nado dashavidho jayate. Chiniti prathamaha, Chinchiniti dvitiyaha, Ghantanadas tritiyaha, Hamsanadas chaturthaha, Panchamas tantrinadaha, Shashtas talanadaha, Saptamo venunadaha, Ashtama mridanganadaha, Navamo bherinadaha, Dashamo bheganadaha. Now, let us see each and everything. Chinnihi, Chinchinihi, Ganthanadaha, Hamsanadaha, Tantrinadaha, Talanadaha, Venunadaha, Mridanganadaha, Bherinadaha, Meghanadaha. These are the 10 types of tenfold forms of Nada through Hamsopanishad that we come to know. Hamsopanishad is basically a minor Upanishad which talks about Hamsa, swan, in relation to Atman, the soul, the ultimate soul. It focuses on meditation and self-realization, and it talks about swan in a metaphorical form with regard to Atman, the soul itself. Hamsa as the Atman here, it represents the individual soul with the universal soul, the Atman with the Brahman itself. So here the swan is compared to in a very metaphorical form with regard to our soul. Hamsa Mantra talks about so hum, I am that. Hum sa, I am the swan. So these are some of the musical narratives that are found in Hamsopanishad. The sound of the breath, so hum, is directly related to Anahata Nada, the unstruck sound. Chanting that so hum in that particular intonation connects the individual self with the cosmic bliss. It is also said that According to Hamsopanishad, one can get himself or herself healed through Nada Brahma itself. In Taittiriya Upanishad, professional musicians and their livelihood are also mentioned. For example, Suta Shailesha are the names given for professional singers and dancers. Ganaka was an adept in Shruti, Swara, and Tala. Tunavadana is an accompanist in Tunuva. Panishangada, the timekeeper. Veena Vadaka, Veena instrument player. See, we have a set of people performing on stage. Likewise, in those days, we have performers and their respective names are being told, or there is a mention in Taittiriya Upanishad according to this. Shravana Upasana, Manana Upasana, Nadopasana, and Aksharopasana pertaining to music were described as means of spiritual attainment. Guna Paripurna Brahmavada along with Nirguna Brahmavada in Upanishad's theory leads us to Nadopasana. Sarve Vedaha Yatpadam Amananti Tapamsi Sarvani cha Yad Vahanti Tapamsi Sarvani cha Yad Vadanti Yadichanto Brahmacharyam Charanti Tatte Padam Sangrahena Bravimi Ityomitetat. The meaning of this verse is that the seat and goal that all the Vedas glorify and which all austerities declare, for the desire of which men practice holy living, of that will I tell thee in brief compass. Om is that goal. O Nachiketas. Nachiketa is a small young intellectual boy who is referred to in the Kathopanishad. Kathopanishad mainly talks about Nachiketas and how he argued with the Yama, the lord of death, by answering the 3 questions of Yama. As human continues to sing his life, energy as a song of life, using his vitality, blending his strength of power of utterances, he would experience the bliss of his own singing. At this juncture, only music of an individual merges into a cosmic music to yield eternal bliss. That supreme God is of the nature of Sat, Chit, and Ananda. He has infinite attributes. He is immanent. He is transcendent. God is not conditioned by space and time. In making efforts to know and experience this mighty power, we all praise, call, and sing His glory using our one and only supreme strength, which is unique to human, that is singing. See, we all know that the best seva for Swami is by singing and dancing. The art form singing and dancing plays an important role of seva of human life. As I mentioned before, in Kathopanishad, we find Nachiketas being tempted by Yama to accept fair ones of heaven, sitting in ornamental chariots, playing harps. In the same manner, in the Chandogya Upanishad, we find that among the arts listed, there is one called Devajnana Vidya, which includes the arts of music, dance, etc. Devajnana Vidya basically talks about deep understanding, meditation, and higher level spiritual aspects. Devajnana Vidya's key teachings are, it mainly focuses on the Brahman, the ultimate reality. It also focuses more on upasana of music, upasana through music, upasana via music. It encourages us to understand the Vedic chants by 3 means. The first one is sama, the second one is mantra, the third one is nada. Mantra is nothing but Shruti Vakya, which is Veda Vakya. Nada is nothing but the primordial sound. And sama is the musical patterns of chants. So the key takeaways from Chandogya Upanishad with regard to music are chanting as meditation. So the Vedic chants were used to lead us to meditation. According to Chandogya Upanishad, one who tries to meditate on these Vedic chants will lead to a proper higher level meditative state. Second one is Saptaswaras, the 7 notes. So the foundation of music aligns with the 7 worlds of the music And it is so said in Chandogya Upanishad. Third one is Devajnana Vidya, which connects us to the ultimate soul, which is Brahman himself. So the Brahman is being connected via Devajnana Vidya according to Chandogya Upanishad. So friends, till now we have seen different Upanishads, what different Upanishads had to talk about musical references and musical narratives. We have also seen different musical instruments that were told by different Upanishads. We have also seen how performances were and what every performer was technically called as according to the Upanishadic literature. We have also seen different instruments, different performers, what each and every Upanishad had to say about music and how it leads us to. It is nothing but the liberation itself, which is the ultimate salvation. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much.